Welcome back to the SAP Business AI series from Aditheos. This is episode 4, SAP Joule, your AI Copilot across the enterprise. SAP Joule is described as an AI Copilot, but that framing significantly undersells what it actually does. In this episode, I'm going to walk you through what Joule really is, how it works technically, what it can do for different roles, and how you get started with it. 6 areas in this episode: what Joule is and what it isn't, how Joule processes a request, the 7-step pipeline that runs invisibly behind every interaction. Joule by role: finance, HR, procurement, sales, and IT. Joule for consultants: the knowledge accelerator. Joule for developers: SAP-aware code intelligence, and how Joule connects beyond SAP and how you activate it. Let's start with the most important clarification. The easiest mistake to make with Joule is treating it like a search engine with a conversational interface. It is not. A search engine retrieves documents based on keyword matching. Joule understands intent, retrieves relevant data from connected SAP systems, and generates responses that are immediately actionable within the context of your role and your current workflow. Here's a concrete example. When a procurement manager asks Joule to list vendors with delayed shipments, Joule doesn't search documentation or guess. It queries the connected supply chain system, retrieves current delivery data filtered by the user's access permissions, and presents the results in a format relevant to the next decision the manager needs to make. Or take an HR consultant asking for help drafting a job description. Joule doesn't generate a generic template. It draws on SuccessFactors data, the organization's role libraries, equity guidelines, and job architecture, producing a draft that's contextually relevant to that specific organization's standards. That's the difference. Not impressive generics. Actionable specifics. Every Joule interaction runs through a carefully orchestrated pipeline. The user never sees it, but it's what makes every response accurate and relevant. 7 steps from your query to your answer. Step 1. User input. You submit a natural language query via the Joule interface. Step 2. Context identification. Joule identifies your connected applications, roles, and permissions based on how it was provisioned in your landscape. Step 3. Scenario matching. A vector search runs across the scenario catalog to find the most relevant capability for your query, filtered to what you're actually authorized to access. Step 4. Document grounding. If customer documents are connected, for example via SharePoint through SAP's document grounding service, relevant content is retrieved and included. Step 5. Dialogue management. The system prompt, pre-filtered scenario, context, search ranking, and your last 12 messages are combined into a structured input. Step 6. LLM generation. That structured input is sent to the appropriate large language model via SAP's generative AI hub, which generates an intelligent response. Step 7. Response delivery. The answer comes back in the appropriate format: a summary, an action, a data table, navigation guidance, or a next step recommendation. Each step adds a layer of enterprise context that makes the output more accurate, more relevant, and more directly usable. This is what separates Joule from a general-purpose AI assistant. Joule's role awareness is one of its most powerful design decisions. Rather than providing a single AI experience for all users, it adapts its behavior and available capabilities based on who is interacting with it. For finance and CFO users, you can ask Joule to summarize regional revenue trends, explain variance against forecast, identify cash flow risks, or produce a plain language overview of complex financial data. Joule pulls from live S/4HANA finance data, so these summaries reflect the current state of the business, not last week's export. CFOs get the decision-relevant context they need without waiting for a scheduled report. For procurement, professionals can query open purchase orders, surface vendors with delayed deliveries, analyze spend patterns, or ask Joule to draft supplier communication. Joule connects to SAP Ariba and S/4HANA purchasing data, providing a real-time view of sourcing activity without requiring users to navigate multiple transaction screens. For HR, professionals can use Joule to draft job descriptions, guide employees through onboarding steps, access policy information, surface performance insights, or handle routine case management queries. Joule's integration with SuccessFactors HCM means responses are informed by the organization's actual HR data, not generic advice. For sales, teams can ask Joule to summarize customer interaction history, generate follow-up emails for open opportunities, provide account overviews ahead of client meetings, or identify the next best action for a specific customer relationship. For IT operations, teams can query incident history, surface unresolved tickets from the past week, check system health, or get help troubleshooting a specific issue. The conversational interface reduces the navigation overhead that traditionally makes IT operations dashboards time-consuming to use. Now let's talk about two capabilities that are particularly valuable for the SAP professional services and development communities. Joule for Consultants gives you conversational access to SAP's comprehensive knowledge base, over 200,000 pages of documentation, learning content, and community insights. That covers approximately the equivalent of 100 SAP certifications. The practical value here is significant. A junior consultant joining a complex S/4HANA implementation no longer needs to spend days searching SAP help, the SAP community, and learning.sap.com to find the answer to a specific configuration question. They ask Joule, get a step-by-step answer grounded in SAP best practices, and move forward with confidence. For experienced consultants, Joule accelerates research, surfaces documentation faster, and provides a sanity check against current SAP guidance, reducing the risk of implementing based on outdated knowledge in a platform that evolves quickly. Joule's developer mode is powered by LLMs trained on SAP-specific code, approximately 250 million lines of ABAP and 30 million lines of CDS. That domain-specific training is what makes Joule's code suggestions meaningfully different from generic AI coding assistants. It generates code that follows SAP standards, uses correct SAP APIs, and aligns with the conventions expected in ABAP, UI5, and CAPI development. Developers can use Joule within SAP Build, ABAP Cloud, and SAP Business Application Studio to generate boilerplate code, explain complex ABAP logic, document APIs, suggest refactoring approaches, and migrate legacy code patterns to modern equivalents. Development cycles compress significantly without sacrificing the SAP-specific quality that makes applications maintainable and upgrade compatible. Joule isn't limited to SAP applications. It integrates with Microsoft Copilot, Perplexity, and WalkMe, providing an always-on AI experience that persists across the user's full workflow. A notable integration, Joule can take a one-to-one meeting in Microsoft Teams and turn that conversation into an actionable development plan in SAP SuccessFactors, bridging the gap between the communication layer and the HR system of record without manual transcription or data entry. For getting started, Joule Base is available at no additional cost as part of existing SAP Cloud subscriptions. It provides foundational conversational capabilities, information retrieval, navigation assistance, and task guidance across connected SAP applications. For organizations ready to go further, custom agents, document grounding, specialized Joule skills, the setup path runs through SAP Discovery Center missions. Let's close with the key takeaways from this episode. Joule is role-aware and context-driven, not a chatbot or search interface. Every response is grounded in live SAP data retrieved through a 7-step orchestration pipeline. Role awareness means Joule adapts its capabilities and data access to match who is using it. Joule for Consultants provides instant access to 200,000 plus pages of SAP knowledge. Joule for Developers is trained on SAP-specific code, generating suggestions that actually follow SAP standards, and Joule Base is included in existing SAP cloud subscriptions at no additional cost. Next episode is probably the most exciting one in the series, Agentic AI in SAP. We move from Joule as a co-pilot to Joule agents that take autonomous action, the A2A protocol, and how SAP is building the infrastructure for AI agents that collaborate across platforms. Subscribe, and I'll see you in episode 5.